So, welcome to our September 12th meeting of LCCUG. And today we have Judy Tallur of California, from California, who is going to talk to us about home automation. And she will also give us a little background on herself since I'm unprepared. So, Judy, take it away.
Thanks. I am 35 miles northwest of Los Angeles, and I often have people who don't live here say, no, you're northeast of Los Angeles. And it always makes me go, maybe I should look again, but I really am northwest of Los Angeles. I would much prefer to be that way than east, but that's okay. I have been a member of my computer club for 34 years. And my claim to fame was I only would miss a meeting in January because I was at CES. And my members would say, oh, come on, Judy, can't you just put on a presentation from there in your hotel room? And I said, no. And we used to meet on Sunday, and we were a large group. And when we started meeting on Wednesday, we're still almost a bedroom community, but people didn't like to come out and go home and eat dinner, be with the family after commuting on the freeway, or come to the computer club meeting. And, you know, they would rather be home than do that. So we have gone from not anywhere near as large as yours down to a friendly few that get together once a month and do whatever it is, you know, we're going to do. But I was involved with the Southwest Technology Conference in San Diego for 23 years. For about 21 years, I was the chair or the co-chair of it. And we just had a really good time. And I think about the things like we talked back in the day that you had, when you had 300, you had fantastic presenters coming in from, you know, companies and everything. And we just used to have all these sponsors, and then slowly over time, you know, they just went away. And for the last 3 years, I moved it up to Cal Poly Pomona, but it was one of those labors of love that you did. It involved with technology and spreading the word. Let's see, I taught adult ed tech classes for 22 years. And that I loved it. That's all the curriculum that I got, you know, rid of. And I really enjoyed that. I am, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, got invited to the LA FBI Senior Scams Working Group. And I thought, how did you hear about me? This was several years ago, and I thought, I can do that. So I skulked. You know, we were a conferencecall.com is what we used at the beginning, which was fine. Or you could go to downtown LA if that was your pleasure. And then we finally got with it, and they got online, and we had to use Microsoft Teams because the government would not let them use Zoom, which was very interesting because of the brouhaha at the beginning in May of 2020. And so I learned something new every other month at that place. And then one day they said, we'd like everybody to introduce themselves. I've been hanging out around for years, and I went, oh, shoot, who do I say I am and where I'm from and why I'm here? And it's interesting because they could have cared less. And I really have a good time at those meetings. And once a year, I have the opportunity to help plan the curriculum for the business department classes at one of the Los Angeles Consortium junior colleges. And I am the oldest one there, of course. And when it comes to technology, all those teachers go, and what do you have to say about that, Judy? What do you think we should be doing next year? I shared Sandy's resume for her grandson with them. They were in a tizzy about AI and what should they do, should blah, 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 blah. We meet in the 1st of May, and semester's over with. School's over with the end of May. And so at the end, they say, you know, well, what's out there that people are using? What do you need to offer our students? And I said, about AI. I know this president of the Lorain County Computer Club back in Ohio. And I said, do you do resumes? It was business communication. Do you do resumes with your students? And he goes, well, yeah. And I said, how about if she said the resume that ChatGPT put together was absolutely fantastic for her son, and he actually didn't have any business experience, but it was really great. And I said, why don't you have them write their own resume? And then in class, use ChatGPT with some prompts. Oh my God, to think he'd struck gold. He thought that was the greatest thing that came down the pike. So your entity as a group have made it to the West Coast. Sandy has made it into the curriculum for that day at Pierce Junior College. So you never know where you're going to find something to talk about that you learn at a meeting or you read in a newsletter. And I read it in her newsletter, and off we go. So that's me. And I am going to share my screen, and off we go. And this is home automation in your kitchen. And this cartoon kind of says it all in a fun way. And before some of you got here, I mentioned I put this together at the request of the Durham Computer Club in Canada. And the day of the presentation, I thought to myself, oh my, I'd only ever seen one woman at their meeting. And lo and behold, it was the guys who were the cooks and were totally into home automation. So the presentation is brought to you by LCCUG Speakers Bureau. And we have a laundry list of a whole bunch of good people who give all kinds of different presentations. And how about, online home automation 2015 to 2020? Look how it has grown and will grow in 10 years. Increasing demand for home automation devices, numbers in the billions. I hope some of you or all of you have a few things that fit into the home automation category. We all maybe not everybody, but a lot of us want to age in place. And home automation is really helpful for doing that. So what is it? You're connecting the tech in your home to your Wi-Fi network and each other. And it just, when I go and get ready to go into the garage, I open the door and I say, hey, G, turn on the garage lights. I could very easily reach my hand around and flip that switch. It's just fun. Or when I'm, leaving the family room, end of day, I just go out in the hall as I'm on my way because I've already asked my bedroom lights to be turned on. And I say, turn off the family room lights. And that would be a couple of clicks where I needed to do that, bend over to do one of them. And it's, like I said, over time, it's useful, it's maybe needed, but it's just fun. And I just kind of get a kick out of it. So you have to think, what do I want to accomplish for my kitchen? Do I just want to do smart lights, appliances, gadgets? There's all kinds of things out there, from low cost to we don't have enough money to pay for all of these things. And besides, we're too old to think about investing in them. Even my daughters say that. But pretending we were all very young and we all had a lot of money, you'd have to think about, what's your plan? What's your budget? And how much do you want to spend now, in 6 months, a year? And if with any home automation, if you roll it out slowly, it helps spread out the cost. So what's the difference between Google Assistant and Alexa? Google Assistant is more conversational, so they say. I often have conversations with my buddy over here. often remembers what you were talking about, and then you can pick up the conversation. Alexa is a particular for wording and sequences of words. Alexa leans heavily on Wikipedia. I personally don't like Wikipedia because I really realize that you can kind of go on there and say whatever you want to say, and it doesn't need to be the straight scoop about technology. And of course, Google has, its massive search engine. But of course, if you're using one or the other for shopping, Alexa wins the shopping award because of Amazon. Both of them, plus there's one for Apple, and the Apple is relatively more expensive than either Alexa or Google. And they let you combine your devices into rooms. You can say things like, turn on the kitchen lights. And whatever you have programmed to turn on, you can. Turn on my bedroom lights. Turn on the bathroom lights as you go through the dining room at my house and you turn left down the hall. And when you get the hall bathroom lights are on. And they're merely called the hall bathroom lights. And you set up routines. You can come in your front door and you have set up a routine. The living room lights come on, music starts playing, the whole 9 yards. And of course, Google's Assistant integrates with YouTube for that music. So, cooking with Google Assistant, choose your recipe. I'm not going to say it, otherwise my buddy over here will start talking to me, and all of you. Prepare the ingredients, and the assistant will tell you what you need. It's not just exactly like go to the pantry and get this out, but you know what you need to pull out of the refrigerator, the pantry, whatever, and just next ingredient or more. And you can have the instructions in individual steps if that's the way you do when you cook, or you can have it in steps 1, 2, and 3 all together, your choice. And you can say, oops, what was that last step? I didn't quite get that. Could you set a timer? And do you really remember how many teaspoons there are in a tablespoon, or how many, cups there are in a half a gallon or something like that? Hey, we use our assistants for that. And say, find me a lasagna recipe. I want to make banana bread. I've forgotten how to cream sugar and butter. It has been so long since I have done that. Oh, by the way, oops, I don't have any baking soda. Can I replace it with baking powder? No? All right, then I'll need to go to the store. How many does this serve? And on and on and on. You just have a conversation going on with your assistant in the kitchen while you were putting all of this together. And some of us don't bake all the time anymore, so we don't, have all the knowledge that we really should or used to have at our fingertips. We've got a friend there who can help us. And you can have music free or pay through YouTube. We can have Spotify playing, Pandora, whatever. And the next comment is, next song, just next song. And in cooking, it's just next step. You don't have to necessarily say a whole long sentence, but you can just shorten it to next step. Alexa. Interaction already built in. Alexa, is the oven on? Is the microwave going? Stop the microwave, turn off the oven, set the oven to convection bake, defrost 3 pounds of meat in my microwave. I would like to know something like that. I'm sure my Google Assistant could tell me. Enable announcements to notify when the cooking appliance or the food says, psst, hey, you need to come in here and take care of something. You need to turn something over or whatever. And so what we want to do, automate our gadgets, look up recipes, convert measurements, have all kinds of smart appliances in our kitchen that help us. We can do video tutorials. I have never made that intricate recipe before. And there it happens. There's going to be some chef there showing you step by step how to do it. You can add items to your grocery list and perish the thought you can track calories. You can attend on-demand cooking classes. That enables us to cook hands-free without that old Betty Crocker red check cookbook open on the counter that now has flour all over it. And just in our little kitchens, wherever we are, we can interact with expert chefs and so on. So if at a minimum, the only thing you want to do is be able to say, hey, you know, your assistant, turn on the kitchen lights. No more than that. You get up from your easy chair, you want to go into the kitchen and get a drink of water. You've got, you know, things in your hands. You really, do you want to use that elbow to turn this, you know, flip the switch up? You can have smart lights. I have C by GE bulbs. This is what I started out with. If you want to spend, and I got mine at Lowe's. You want to spend more money, you're going to have what Bill James has. He's high grade all the way. You're going to get the Philips Hue bulbs. And Wise, if Wise is a company put together by 3 kids who worked at Amazon and thought the price of a speaker they were looking at was too expensive. So of course they started their own company and are probably extremely, extremely wealthy now. And a lot of LCCUG members love the Wise products. I got in at the beginning and it was like a GoFundMe. And when they got enough money for that first speaker, and then they, you know, we got an email and said, the plans are on the way to China. We'll keep you posted. And then when the speakers were made, they said, they're on the ship, they're coming your way. And then I got the ships in port at Long Beach, which is an hour from me. And shortly after that, I got my camera. Sorry about that. And it works just fine. It still works to this day. But what I found out, didn't have a clue, is that different lights have different depths of their base for the light, the bulb that's going to go in. And I went, wonderful. So I needed a Wemo plug for my pole light in the family room. And I have one in the garage for the overhead lights that are on there too. So if you are just going to do a minimum of lights, then make sure you measure, you know, the depth of what that light bulb is going to screw into. And it's no big deal. I just have this extra person here by the name of Wemo who has to, you know, do its thing in the garage and the pole lamp. And it's interesting because it wasn't a pole lamp from 16,000 years ago. It was a relatively new one. But I learned my lesson with this. Be a little bit more prepared, but I just thought they were all the same. So it's all about Wi-Fi. You can get an extender. This is one on the right, 6 USB ports, the whole 9 yards, works both with Alexa and Google Home. And you just set up the name of the appliance for each socket and you're off and running. Hey, G, turn on, off the whatever, Alexa, the whole 9 yards. It just makes your life more convenient. And again, you know, aging in place should be convenience for us all, you know, all the time. And you can control your appliances. And I took away my Wemos and put Wise plugs up here, but that's what they look like. And there you see the little round button on the left. I often say my Wemo goes on strike and won't turn on. I am about 3 good blocks from Spectrum's node that works for my area, and even the relay 4 doors down across the street doesn't give me 100% always on time Wi-Fi. So I'm Ethernetted for my technology stuff and my smart TV here in the family room. And so every once in a while, my Wi-Fi, because I'm so far from, you know, the actual node, and I understand Spectrum's not going to give us another one. So I have to deal with that. Not everybody does. I was at a meeting the other night and somebody had AT&T and they had single digit download. with their Wi-Fi. And I thought, you gotta, well, we don't think we like Spectrum. And I thought, Lord, I'd make myself like it rather than have something download a single digit. So you can see the little devices plug into a surge protector for me, and they're very easy to reach. If I have to push the button, mine's on the top. Things you need to know. So here's a coffee pot. You would like a Wi-Fi enabled state-of-the-art remote brewing using the Smarter app. Often what you get isn't directly used, works with, they work with Alexa and Google, but they have their own app that you need to use. So it keeps your coffee at the desired temp for 40 minutes. It's programmable. Set it up, pair it to other devices, and forget about your coffee, and there it will be. $145. And you are saying, I just set the timer on mine, and when I get up in the morning, there it is. And it was a $25 coffee pot. But again, this is home automation. If this is what you would like to get into, where you can control it from other places in your house. And this is Bill James. Would you care to look at the price of that? $799.99. He loves his coffee, apparently. And it does everything but, I don't know. Put it in the dishwasher. I have no clue. It does everything. He waited well over a year to get this. It comes from offshore and not China. And he'd heard this is great and he loves it. Absolutely fantastic, perfect cup of coffee. Bill spends his money on his home automation devices. And this is one thing that had been replaced. Tea kettle, hot water, for whatever you want it. And they say, oh, by the way, we do work with Alexa and Google, but if you want to turn me off or turn me on, you have to use our Smart Life app. So that's one of the things that you need to look for, and it's $86. But the good thing is it turns off once the water has reached the selected temperature, automatically shuts off when the kettle is nearly empty. So that's for safety. But would you like to keep your coffee warm for $130? Works with Alexa and Google Assistant along with their app. It has 80-minute battery life. Sleep mode after 2 hours if you have, neglected your coffee. I neglect mine. And at 2 hours, I'm drinking cold coffee and I don't mind, but hey, $130, you can have one of these. Comes in black if you'd rather have black. Do you need a premium cocktail and margarita machine for the home bar? You are somebody who is always having parties and you like to think that people think of you as a mixologist. And here I am, and I can make all your favorite drinks for you via using a cocktail capsule that to me would be like using the pod in my Hamilton Beach coffee maker on the counter. And hey, it cleans itself after each cocktail is created. You don't have to do it. This is one thing. This is $40, and it's a lot of these things are on sale at Amazon right now. But I thought this isn't, Wi-Fi, this isn't anything, but I thought, why even have to push down a plunger to get soap on your hands in the bathroom or the kitchen? And this is a touchless hands-free pump for either one. And oh my gosh, it dispenses it in 2 seconds. So you better have your hand out there so it goes into your hand and not on the counter. But again, it's not actually home automation. It just makes it hands-free. And my daughter wanted one of those. What do you want for, Christmas, Stacy? And she said, I want some kind of mixer thingy stir that I can use when I'm, making stuff on the stove. And I had just put this together and I bought her one of these. She absolutely loves it. Again, is it Wi-Fi? It just means that you're not whipping your wrist around trying to beat something up or stir something. This does it for you. And it is USB, and it comes with its own little charging stand, and it looks cute on her counter, and she uses it all the time. You know how you get your kids something, no matter what their age, that they have to have, and then you never see them using it. She uses this. Doesn't cook that much, but when she does, she uses this. This is the one thing that I couldn't find that I did with the Durham presentation. The grocery list was when you took your, you had a little device clipped to your trash can, and when you threw a box or a can in the trash, the device recorded what it was and started your grocery list and let you know that you were out of XYZ, whatever it was. And that went away. And I thought that would be a very handy thing to have. But this is one that you can use. You can add things with your voice. The shopping list stays with you on your phone wherever you go. Yes, you can use the notes section, but this is just a fun thing to use. Instead of that, have everything in your pantry, everything in your refrigerator, so on and so on. Here is a 8-in-1. Look at that, 8-in-1 for $150. And do we even need pressure, slow, and rice cooker, yogurt and cake, saute pan, steamer, and warmer all together? And works with Alexa, does not work with Google's Assistant. And you can share cooker access with your family. And you will receive alerts on your mobile device. You're out in the backyard and your phone says, psst, you know, the 8-in-1 is finished. And here's a toaster, $350. I cannot find another toaster that's less than this. It has 60+ digital settings. You know, I just put my little piece of bread in there and I just push the little side panel down and boom, it's good. But this does everything but go to the grocery store, pick it out and open it up and pop itself out and put it in there. And Bill was doing, looking at this just for grins, and he found one for $100. And he went, you see the price, $349 at Amazon. So he bought one. And he called me and he says, guess what I just got? What? And I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be fun? Would I spend $100? Oh, just for grins, I would. And it was a scam. He never got his $100 back, and he never got any, you know, any information other than the fact that thank you very much for your payment. We appreciate it. Your toaster is in the mail. And the toaster obviously was not in the mail. And I thought, ha ha, even those people who know everything about technology sometimes fall for it's too good to be true. The thermometer, $80, works with your iPhone, your Android phone, 25+ hours of continuous use between charges. If you are somebody who uses your barbecue, this would be something I would give my youngest daughter's husband. He barbecues all the time. His son makes the best smash burgers of the family. Of course, you wouldn't use a thermometer with them, but he could probably use something like this. And this would be his only present for his birthday or for Christmas. And that happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Mike. Here's your new thermometer. Because of course it would be on sale. I wouldn't spend $80, but it would be on sale. And it gets fantastic reviews. So this is something to me that's feasible, because if he's in the house watching the football game, this is the way he can keep track of what's happening on the barbecue without having to get up, open the slider, fight off the dog, walk into the backyard, open up the top of the trigger barbecue or the other type of barbecue he has. And this would be a time saver for him, something he would like. Here's your air fryer, $140. I got mine for a lot less than that, but and relax on your couch, and this will let you know exactly what is happening with the stuff that you are cooking in there. Of course, you have to use their app. And you always, if you're going to buy something that has their own app, you need to make sure that it's compatible with whatever device you have. And to be honest with you, a lot of the devices that I don't have in here, they only work with Alexa. They don't work with Android phones for some reason. And you can view your recipe history. You can say, you know, this one didn't really turn out good. Do not ever use this again. You know, create and save your own custom recipes, $140 if you would like to have this. And here is a GE microwave, $160, and it works with either of the assistants. So you can use, if you're in, you know, again, I'll use the football game thing because that season is starting out, and you're watching the football game and oh my gosh, exciting things are happening. You can use your voice to operate it from any room in the house. And it's got scan to cook technology with the manufacturer's barcode. And GE has several of these in different prices. He has one that has the air fryer and the convection, as well as microwave, in something that is just the size of a regular microwave. And I think I might get that just for Ren's. Here's our biggie. This is an electric range. I don't know whether you guys have electric or gas. We have gas in California, and all of our appliances are much more expensive than the electric ones. But hey, you can control this by Wi-Fi. But again, you have to use their Smart HQ app. No reheat air fry. Okay, so now you don't have to buy that $140 air fryer because it's built in with here. Oh, absolutely fantastic. I would never be without a self-cleaning oven, even though I don't cook anymore. You can preheat your oven on the way home from wherever, and you can make sure you turned off your burners. I think that cooktop would probably drive me crazy because I'm used to having the grids up there where you can see the flames. And here it is for me in gas, a couple grand more. It's a convection oven. You don't need a hub. You just use your phone, and but plus their Chef Connect. And again, dual fuel, gas cooktop, electric oven with hidden bake. Our electricity is so expensive out here. I think that if I had something like that, I would never be baking again. It is much more expensive than our gas is. And hey, save that $80 because it's got a temperature probe that lets you know when it's done. The refrigerator that does everything but talk to you, $3 grand. 4 doors, a door and door that has a look at that little revolving door down in the corner down there. Doesn't that look cute? And I guess it has the back wall is completely LED lights, because I guess you go into the kitchen, you don't want to turn the lights on, so you open the door to your refrigerator and you can see everything perfectly in all the corners because the whole back is lit for you. If you leave a door open, your smart device is going to say on your phone, come back into the kitchen. You left the door open. And I get a kick out of that because my oldest kids, their refrigerator does that. That's all it does. It only tells them that they left the door open, but all it does is beep. But you spend $3,000 and you get all kinds of cool stuff, including.
I have no audio.
And here's a dishwasher. This is what this turned me on. I really like this dishwasher because I like that little, you know, thing at the top there. At 3 cracks, $1,400, gets rid of almost 100% of the bacteria. Very, very quiet. My house is kitchen, dining room, family room are all connected together. Living room is where nobody ever goes except to walk through it to get to the rest of the house. Wi-Fi connected. It does everything but the kitchen sink for you. I got the next model down that isn't Wi-Fi connected. I thought I just like the dishwasher. And I said to myself, Judy, do you really need a new dishwasher? And the answer was no. And then when I got the new one, I was surprised at how much cleaner all of my dishes were. And I thought to myself, well, I guess I needed a new one anyway. Water softener. Do you have hard water? We do here. I just deal with it. But you can use up to less than 50% less dishwashing detergent, cleaner dishes, fewer spots. Oh, look, it reduces scale and buildup in our water heaters. The guy across the street, I'm responsible for their house when they go on vacation. They were in Pennsylvania for a month in May. And I went over one time, and on their model is just like mine in reverse. And I walked up there and I thought, oh my gosh, water is coming out from under their side garage door. And it was their water heater was leaking. In a panic, I called him. And luckily the funeral wasn't going on when I called him. I didn't think about that, but one of the relatives had died. And he said, don't worry about it. It's been leaking for a long time. Just make sure that the towel is where it's a wick, and then I've got it so it rolls, goes out from under the door. And he is now spending $15,000 to completely repipe his whole house. And I told him when he came over to use my house was the bathroom house yesterday. And when he came, I said, don't you wish you'd let me take care of the water heater business leaking in May? He said, yeah, it would have been a good idea. So he could have used a Wi-Fi thing to help him a little bit, but this is because they do have Wi-Fi, water heaters, but this is a, water softener. And here's one of the vacuums. We were talking about vacuums. We have several people that I know in LCCUG that has the Wise robot vacuum. And it maps your room, it plans its path. It's got something called laser distance sensor, LiDAR. And Bill James has one of these, and it goes around and maps, and then he just schedules it, makes sure his bedroom door is closed with the dogs on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, it buzzes around the house. And I have had him send me a picture and to see how much better his carpet looks. I have porcelain tile throughout, so what can I tell you? And it looks absolutely, he said it looks better than when the cleaning ladies come. What can I tell you? So the one in the upper left-hand corner lives in Southern California. He is the only one that I know that has not given his vacuum a name. Miss Alice, working hard, is Bob Gasich's, and they live in New Mexico. And all of these are Wise. And what's interesting is Bob got a different one and passed the Wise robot vacuum on. And the real Alice, who is his wife, said, you need to get that back. I like that one much better than this other one you got. Rosie is Dwight JJ's vacuum in Illinois. And he says the cat likes to sit on it and zip around with it. And we were talking about this before, and Sandy says she puts a pool noodle where she doesn't want it to go. Well, this vacuum, he says, has never gone down the stairs. He apparently, the computer office is in the basement, all that good kind of stuff. And he says it whips. It's programmed it just whips right across the opening to downstairs and has never fallen down. But I love the fact that Rosie, who used to write many of the articles for their newsletter, likes to sit on it and write it around. And Herman is Bill James, and Herman lives in Oklahoma. So if you get into home automation, don't forget, you need to give them a name. This is Sudsy. This is Bill's washing machine, $900, Wi-Fi enabled, works with Alexa and Hey Hoo Ha, and it's got smart dispense technology. We were talking on the phone the other day, and he said, oh, somebody's at the door. And he got up, and it was Amazon, and I said, what did you get? And he says, I didn't order anything. And it was his soap, smart dispense. It knew that he needed soap. So he has an open order there and they just sent it to him. He didn't even have to think about it. And you can do everything with it, from standing in front of it, sitting in a chair somewhere, being in the garage, being in the backyard. He spends a lot of time in the backyard with his koi pond and the 2 dogs playing around. He just, does a lot of his tech stuff in the backyard on the patio under the umbrella. And this is what he has. And he also has Bounce. Bounce is the dryer. And the washing machine will say, "Psst, Bill, I'm done. It's time for the dryer." We have to figure out how to get the clothes from the washer to the dryer. There is a new one out that does everything in one unit, but it's pricey, of course. But Alexa and the Google friend. And if you are into ironing, he irons. I have not ironed in 1,000 years, but it lets him know if he has a load that he needs to just freshen up or whatever, that it's time. You can iron these, or it will, if you've got something stuck in the vent and that would give, start a fire possibly, it lets you know that. And wrinkle care, it extends the tumble without heat, and it reminds him every time it starts over again, like, hey, lazy bones, get up out of your chair and come in off the patio porch and come in here and take your clothes out of the dryer. And that's Sudsy and Bounce. And this is where they live. And this is the walkway from his kitchen to his garage. And look, there's an ironing board back there. Isn't that amazing? And it says, I may be a washing machine with the latest technology, but I'm not equipped to wash your dishes. But hey, you could get one of those Whirlpool dishwashers and it could. For outside, this is the smoker, not quite $400. You got your Bluetooth smart technology. And again, you sit it, you don't have to be outside while this is happening. If having a smoker for all of your meat and everything is something you're interested in, you might want to get something just like this. Or, your kids say, you guys, you have everything. What in the world can we get you as a holiday present? Oh, yeah, we'd like one of these smokers. We saw it in a presentation, and it's much better than what we're doing. Never hurts to ask. And this is Bill's barbecue. He has a Traeger, and of course, it's Mr. Smoky. What can I tell you? And he can program that from wherever. He can start it up. He can check the temperature on all things, and he will start using it now that it has cooled down. He really hasn't used it at all this summer because it's just been too hot and muggy and yucky in Oklahoma City. So he said that he will be using this. He has an air fryer that has a grill on it. So that's where he's been grilling his steaks. But he will be back to use, and he just loves it. So if you decide to do any of these things, even just one of the frivolous ones like I got Stacy, if it is Wi-Fi enabled, you might want to check to make sure that you don't have to have multiple devices to control everything. You either want your Android phone or your iPhone or the app. But when you have something that requires its own app, that's one more thing you have to add to your phone or your tablet or whatever. And Wi-Fi or Ethernet routers have built-in firewalls. So don't forget, extremely important, rename your router, create a default username and password, one of those passwords that's complex, or a passphrase, and use strong encryption, at least WPA2, because of course the bad guys are going to try to get into your house via whatever you are using to home automate your kitchen. Out here in California, I don't know, and I'm imagining it's elsewhere, people who buy not name brand solar. Well, apparently you can crack those. If you don't have, what is it, Sunrun, one of the ones that's a little more expensive, more popular. They sell that at Costco. It's very easy to hack the solar panels on your roof. Why someone will want to do that? The possibility is they can divert the power someplace else. I don't know, but there's that possibility with all of your Wi-Fi gadgets and with anything that you add to your router stuff. Make sure your router software and firmware is up to date. If it's 10 years old, you're going to want to think about getting a new router and reboot it regularly. As Bill says, you need to do that. And you need to, power it down, wait 60 seconds, power it back up. He says it's just like doing restart on your computer. And it gets rid of stuff that you don't really need. And he suggests you use a separate Wi-Fi network for your devices and also set up a guest network. If you have friends, relatives, kids, whoever come in and they say, hey, Dad, Mom, can I use your Wi-Fi? You got a guest one set up and say here, so they can't inadvertently muck yours up. And of course, read and understand the privacy policies for everything. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, thank you so much. Back in the day, we used to read the EULAs, the end user license agreements. And now we wouldn't it'd take us a week to read the small print. Number one, we'd have to make it large enough so we could read it. And make sure that you change your privacy and security settings. Turn on 2FA. It's like anything else that is out to the world via the internet. Make it as safe as you possibly can. And people say, they're listening to us. Well, just turn them off. If you don't want to have them listen to your conversations in the evening or whatever, and you think they do, just unplug them, turn them off, whatever. And these are the places that I found things and the joy of tech cartoons. And that is it. So I hope you got some ideas and you're going, why am I here? Somebody might ask you a question sometime about, are there stoves that are Wi-Fi enabled? And you could say, yes, there are. And they're very expensive. I chose GE because I thought if I were doing this, I would want to use the same washer, dryer, refrigerator, dishwasher, stove, the same product line. As it is, I'm a Maytag made in the USA kid. And so I have all those appliances that match. But it's just fun to see something like this and laugh to yourself and say, if only. I still worked. I was a lot younger and would get value out of all the money that I am going to need to spend, But hey, back then, home automation stuff like this didn't exist.
Very good.
Treat yourself to something.
Yeah.
It's like I say, it makes you smile.
Yes.
If nothing else, lights.
Yeah.
They say the worst thing for seniors is trip and fall.
Yeah.
And so I lead my way to bed with my voice. Again, I could turn the light switch on, but it just makes me chuckle. And you got your smart lock on your door.
Yeah.
And all that good kind of stuff. So what else do you have at your house in addition to your smart lock, Sandy?
I have a number of Alexas and smart plugs on everything that I think I can have it on. I do have a smart lock on the back door, a ring on the front door, And I just put a smart bulb in the basement, though it's one I've had for a long, long, long time, and it's very fairly, it's not bright enough, and it's colors, and I don't need colors. So
Yeah.
I want to replace that. But it was a light in the washroom where I couldn't, there was no switch. And the string, it's hard to, string hangs down and you got to walk in all those things. So I finally thought I'm going to put it on a smart bulb because it wouldn't work with a smart plug. But I enjoy my, oh, and I have a old robo sweeper type thing, and I would like to replace that with something newer.
Check out the Wise.
And yeah, I will. And the batteries, they don't hold up for years, but
well, it's like my Wemo smart plug that I have as Wise in the presentation. I have a fluorescent thing, and try to replace that. They're all, and it hangs on a chain, and they all want them up. Well, I have rafters. It's hanging from the bottom of the rafter that is storage. And so I thought, well, so I finally found it again at Lowe's, and I could replace because it had died, and I got a new one, but there's no place to plug it in. It was looped up and over and with an extension cord. And I thought, Judy, that's really tacky. And so I got a Wemo plug up there. Electrician came in and activated, the electricity to that professionally instead of an extension cord. And like I said, I very easily can just turn the switch, but it's just fun you got the laundry basket in your arms. You open the door and you're standing there, and I've got 2 steps to go down. And, I just, hey, hoo-ha, turn on the garage lights. There they are. And that fluorescent makes it still so nice and bright, so. And it's interesting because I try to ring on my front door, and the way I sit, the wind comes from over there across my backyard. I've lived here for over 40 years. We never got wind on the front of the house. Along comes climate change. I get wind on the front house. There's no protection for the ring, and it kept turning it on every time. And I thought, so much for security, Judy. So that didn't work, and I'm looking into something that can work a little bit better. But there's an overhang for it, but not straight across the front of the house. And I thought, can I go back to when it only blew in the backyard? Does anybody else have any kind of home automation?
Yeah, unmute them. They're all muted.
Unmute yourself if you have something that you use. You could share.
Judy, can you hear me?
Can you hear Mickey?
Yes.
That ring you were talking about, was that a light or the doorbell?
A doorbell camera.
And it kept going on with the wind?
Yeah.
That's unusual.
I know, happy joy. What can I tell you? It's SoCal. We're different. So Mickey, you've got to have, you're the techie person in the world here. Home automation stuff?
I have a lot of the Wise, mostly all Wise cameras. A few of these stragglers that I found on sale that I had to get apps for. And what else? I just put in a Wise outside floodlight, and that hooks right onto the electric, so I don't have to worry about it. I wanted something for the outside, and that runs off of electric rather than battery, so I don't have to worry about running out and changing the battery every now and then. So that works nice. It's got nice LED floodlights. What else do I have? Got lots of the dots, echo dots. 1 or 2 smart light bulbs, and lots of smart plugs.
And what smart plugs do you have?
A lot of the Casa, because they were on sale at the time. I don't have any Wise. Yeah, I think it's mainly Casa that I have.
It's interesting. When I got mine, I got my smart plugs from Amazon. I got a pack of 4. I still have 2 left. You can't hardly find a Belkin Wemo. It's all Casa on Amazon. I looked last night, so that's why I took it out of the presentation and put Wise in. Mine was like $60 for 2.
Oh, wow.
But this was back in the day.
Okay.
And I thought that was very interesting that it's kind of gone away.
Yeah, I was trying to stick with the Casa since I kind of started there. That was back before Wise even had the smart plugs.
Mhm.
So I tried to stick with the one brand and they work really well. So, and they all integrate with everything I have just about integrates with Alexa. So I can control it from there.
You have one of the bathroom scales?
No, I don't. I don't need that. I have,
Well, now, don't you ever weigh yourself?
oh, yes, I do every other day.
See,
And
see,
but I already have a digital scale, so I don't need the one that's hooked up to the Wi-Fi. So
anyway, they're $29 and they
yeah, I see that.
kitchen sink about you if you care for that.
No,
I can remember at CES one time in the pavilion that it was we really like to get this to market. And they had a scale that theoretically after you got out of the shower that you were going to dry yourself off, weigh yourself, and depending upon whether you had gained weight, it let the refrigerator know that you had gained
Refrigerator.
weight. And when you got to the refrigerator, the display said whatever, that never made it to
Dennis,
market. I was so sad because I thought, how cool would that be? And they never got enough money together to get it to market.
Dennis, do you have anything that you use?
Got the 3 Amazon plugs. I got about 5 Alexas, Dots, and we give them all different names.
Oh,
Ziggy,
good.
Echo, Alexa.
Yeah, computer is one name.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like that one. I don't know why. But that's nice to turn the lights off and on when we go to bed.
Yep.
Especially wife goes to bed before me, so the one light's on in the sunroom, and so I can see my way to get into bed in the dark. But in the light in the sunroom, when I get into bed, I just tell Echo to turn the light off. So we've got a refrigerator that connects to the Wi-Fi, but we don't use it.
Oh,
I don't see a purpose in it.
yeah. But you wanted to spend the extra money for it.
It's what the wife wanted. We didn't buy it for the Wi-Fi. She bought it for the design. With the front
Absolutely
doors.
wonderful.
And then the washer and dryer are both one's Maytag and the other one's Whirlpool. And the washer, it's not Wi-Fi, but it is digital, and I've learned to hate it. We've had it for I don't know, about 4 years, right after the spider running down my leg.
Dear.
He'll find something else to eat. The control board went out, had a repairman because it was completely dead, and he said it was the control board. So ordered another one, and it came in with a different part number on the control board. And we used it, and it did not work. He sent it back again and telling them that we need one, the newest update. And they sent us the one that's in the middle again. And I figure that Maytag's having a problem with these control boards, because from the time I bought it, they upgraded it once to a different part number. Now they upgraded it to another part number. Everything says that's the one I should have. but nobody can have it. Nobody has it in stock, and they keep sending us the old one. So twice I got the one in the middle that said it should work, and it doesn't. So he ordered it a third time, and he says it came in, but I haven't communicated with him to see if it's the actual new part number or not. So we haven't had a washer in well over a month.
Ouch.
We went to the laundromat, and I was sticker shocked.
Yeah.
Just shy of $100 to do all the laundry.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
it's not 25 cents a load anymore?
Yeah, 25 cents. Coin, 25, 25,
A lot of
25,
25s.
20, a lot of 25 to get one load. One load's like $4 now, almost $5 a load.
Good
Can you
Lord.
use your credit card?
If you use the credit card, then it's another 3 or 4% added.
Oh,
Oh,
gee.
geez.
Yeah.
So that we don't use. Other Wi-Fi, well, we got the chicken coop. She bought the door that opens and closes, so she can when they go to bed at night, she can use her phone and close the door so
Oh,
that
no.
no raccoons or anything can get in. And then
Well, that's a unique one.
yeah, then it opens up automatically in the morning to let them out. Oh, and I got a camera. I got Arlo cameras everywhere. It is nice to have electric to have the Arlos plugged in, but where I have them, there's no electric without stupidly somebody coming up and say, "Oh, look at that big long extension cord to plug." All I gotta do is unplug it. And I go, so I keep trying to recharge them, bring them in. I do have one Wise camera that runs all the time. That's nice. And a Wise plug that runs the upstairs. Well, use them mostly for the Christmas tree upstairs on the balcony.
Mhm.
So, I mean, yeah, we got a number of things.
Yeah.
Like having a bunch of computers and laptops and portals and Alexas and who knows what else. So I got a Google Home.
Yeah, Bill James has just incorporated one Alexa because the new TV he bought had Alexa built in. And so I had bought Alexa little dots for
Alexa, stop.
prizes for newsletter, stuff like that. And he had one left over. He decided to use it. JJ from Illinois, Johnson, he has both systems at his house, and he's got even more home. He's got home automation like Smith here does, because he's got everything but the kitchen sink, and it could be automated for all I know. But I know my son got the washer and the dryer, and something happened to the washer. Well, Mom, you're not working anymore, so can you go over and the repair guys can come in? And the repair guy walked in and he says, "Boy, I sure hope they got the extended warranty."
No.
I went, wonderful, because they're so
That's what
expensive.
you want to hear.
And he walked in and said, "Yeah." So then I checked with the oldest kid and said, "Did you guys get the extended warranty?" And they did. And finally, at the end, and like one had a lifetime warranty. It was a Samsung, and something went out on the washer, and they were going to the laundry room, laundromat with two kids for quite a while, because they couldn't get, number one, anybody to come out to fix it. And it was under warranty. It was under warranty. And finally they got somebody who knew what they were talking about. I wouldn't have put up with the amount of time there without a washing machine. And he came out and he said, "Yeah, it's under warranty." But he said, in the long run, he said, it's going to cost you much more than it's guaranteed. They'll replace it, but the prices have gone up. And he said, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. He said, you actually should buy a new washing machine. So they did, and their dryer is up here and their washing machine is down here, because they opted not to get the box at the bottom. So I thought both of those things were interesting, but it was trying to find somebody who could come and even look at it. And they tried to scam him, the first guy, and they finally tripped to that. And I thought, you should have discussed this with Mom at the very beginning, and Mom would have said, you guys, this is a scam. Oh, by the way, they're teachers. What can I tell you? High school, she's AP history, econ, and he's regular history, econ and stuff. But anyway, so anybody have anything else that they have automated at their house?
Well, just real quick, that control board, it cost me $360.
See?
The
Oh.
repair guy that came suggested that we do consider a new washer altogether. And then he goes, and you're better off if you stay away from the electronics. He says, anything that goes wrong with them, it's an arm and leg. And he goes, over time, the price will come down. You can buy a whole washer, but the circuitry boards, when they go bad, they're half the price of the washer itself.
That's what happened.
So
The old,
he wants us to go buy a Speed Queen. That he says it's all kind of industrial, and it's the models that he suggested was non-Wi-Fi, non-electronics at all. And he says you turn them dials, it's all mechanical, and he says it'll last a lifetime. And so we looked at those, and they're well over $1,000.
Really? For no electronics?
come on sale. I didn't even know they made them anymore.
Speed Queens, they're mostly for laundromats and stuff, but he
Okay.
says buy them. He says they're out there, buy them. And my wife, we looked at them. Well, here the local store in Elyria, Stewart's, that I usually buy stuff from, they sell Speed Queen too, but they're even more expensive.
Yeah,
But
I knew a guy that worked there for many years, Mike Siri used to be a salesman there. At Stewart's.
I have an old washer and dryer, just nothing fancy, which I'm very happy with, and I
Me too,
won't even tell you how old they are.
right.
I can't even compute how old they are, and I'm knocking on wood because as soon as I say that,
Yep, you've talked about it.
I think mine are 20 years old.
oh, mine are older than 20, easily.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
would take, when I had to take care of the dogs, well, the oldest kids were up doing whatever they do during vacation and stuff. And I would take my laundry over there, and I was so impressed. You know how when you wash your hair and it squeaks and you go, oh, my hair, it's really clean. That's the way it was when the Samsung was finished. I would take my clothes out and I would go, my God, these feel so much cleaner than mine. So then I got new Maytags and stepped up, and they weren't anywhere near, what they paid for both of theirs, of course. And it has a small agitator, which uses less water, but it was just interesting. I could actually feel my clothes were squeaky clean. And I thought, I can't come over here every week and do my laundry. I could have, there at school and stuff, but the dryer was fine. It was the washing machine that impressed me no end, but they only buy made in America, not South Korea. So that didn't
That's
work.
nice.
for me.
Sandy,
Yeah.
our washer and dryer started out, that was in the basement, was over 20 years old. They worked fine, but we remodeled, added a kitchen, made room for the washer and dryer.
Oh, I'd
upstairs.
love that. I'd love to have
And
one.
the
up.
wife says, I'm not bringing, because it was showing a little rust and stuff, 20 years in the basement. They worked
Right.
perfect. So we gave them to one of the kids or something. And she went out and bought all brand new stuff. And now this thing's lasted, what, 4 years? 4.5 years. The warranty ran out on it. And immediately the electronics go out.
Yep.
Oh,
you know, I had a refrigerator I bought from J.C. Penney's. I had that refrigerator over 25 years. I gave it back to my ex-husband when I had to dub down on my refrigerator, and he used it for about 5 years before he got a new refrigerator and put it out. It was still working, when he put it out on the lawn. I couldn't believe it was like, I can't believe how old that thing was and it worked like, they don't make them like that anymore
No.
because they want you to buy them every 4 years.
I think so.
Yeah, it's,
I got a perfect side-by-side refrigerator sitting in the garage right now. The ice maker and water supply line rotted, I guess, after all these years. So the water and the ice on the door don't work, but the side-by-side, it works fine. Well, when we redid the kitchen counters and everything, she wanted a new refrigerator, and it's working okay, but it's in the garage, the old one, and she says, you're gonna put that out to the street. We don't want it. We don't want it. So I got a refrigerator to give away.
Yeah, put it online that you want to pass it on to
put
somebody.
it out on the lawn and put free refrigerator, still works.
You know, there's all these restrictions about putting a refrigerator out on the lawn. They
You
want
gotta
you to
cut
empty
the
the freon out of it
Yeah,
and have a tag on it that said it was checked by a authorized freon checker.
And you gotta make sure the doors.
And you gotta take the doors off.
Or,
Yeah.
so the kids can't get in them.
Yeah.
If it is working, Ohio Edison gives you money for it because it's not star rated.
Yeah.
They pick up extra kilowatts to sell because you sold your old.
Worth
refrigerator.
checking into.
Yeah, about $75.
I actually just miss going down to Sears and buying my appliances.
Those are the days, huh?
So the Kenmore label, and when I got my new Whirlpool refrigerator, I went out and I looked and I had had a Sears side by side forever and a day. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And it was dying and Sears was dead. And I went out and come to find out all this time I'd had an RCA Whirlpool refrigerator with the Kenmore name on it.
Oh, yeah.
And because I opened one up and I went, my refrigerator. And except the thing is it has trim around the glass. You know, it might look nice. Got it at Home Depot, pooping around at Lowe's. They actually had my old refrigerator without the trim, because with that trim, you can't get as much stuff on the glass shelf, because that would let you go. So some of my stuff on the edges are like that a little bit. But I just, you know, when I opened this up at Home Depot, I was at home. There was my refrigerator. Who knew it was a Whirlpool? It was a Kenmore. But yeah.
and Kenmore, Maytag, they're all Whirlpool now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, we do have the sweeper.
I wonder,
What is it? The
which one do you have?
the first one that came out. What was
Roomba?
Roomba? Yeah,
Roomba?
Around longest.
yeah. We're on
Okay.
our second Roomba. She
And
wanted one that
what is its name?
What's its name?
Hazel.
Hazel?
Yeah.
Of course. Oh,
I
how
like that.
funny.
That's good.
But wife wanted the one that empties by itself. It just
Yeah.
goes
Does that
home.
work?
Yes, it works great.
Does that
It
work?
empties itself and then heads back out and finishes sweeping.
Of course it does.
Crazy. I like the idea of emptying itself, but I thought, oh, that's probably not gonna work.
Well, it's just a pain to make sure everything's up off the floor. You got to get your throw rugs and
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
else,
yeah,
and strings or anything.
yeah.
And then trying to keep it out of the other rooms. We got the little electric battery things that keeps it from leaving the room. And if she forgets to have them, or the kids have moved them or something, next thing we know, it's in the living room, tangling itself up into
You
something.
gotta get some pool noodles.
My suggestion, I think that's a great idea. Or like Bill does, just close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's a pain to pick up the dog toys all over the place that he does.
If you're gonna
And I'm
sweep
thinking,
anyway, you should
"Oh,
pick
how
'em up."
sad," you know. He's probably using a grabber to pick them up anyway. Good discussion.
I
I'm
was
glad.
gonna say I had a sewer issue by the laundry room in the basement. I had to have the drains cleaned, you know. And he said, if this doesn't take care of it, this one stack is gonna have to be replaced at a larger fee.
Yeah.
But he said, just watch it and see how it goes. So I put one of my little cameras down there and plugged it in so I could watch on my phone every once in a while. Is there any issues going on down there? And nothing.
Very-
It's all working well. So I think I could take the camera back upstairs.
By worse.
It's kind of boring to watch it.
Won't have any video.
Like paint drying,
Pardon?
Yeah. like paint drying.
Yeah, like, yeah. Well, good news is no news or whatever the expression is.
Well, they had 8 guys working on the house across the street yesterday. Today's inspection day, and so I told Wade, I'm coming over. I said, I want, because I said, where are all the openings? And I just, that kind of stuff intrigues me. So I'm going to go over and just look at all what they've done and all that good kind of stuff. But he said he got a bid for 16K and then 15.5, and the guy graduated with his oldest son, and my youngest is my son. And he says, how about if I give you 15? He said 15.5 if I give you 15 cash. And I said, I want to see you pay him in dollar bills. And he said, no, I gave him hundreds. And I thought, God, Wade, you're the only one that could do that. But he got 500, where he could have replaced the water heater in May when I was responsible for it. And this never would have happened.
Crazy.
I know. So take care. So he should have had you can get the water heater that will tell you all about the kinds of stuff like that. Yep.
Listen,
Anyway, fun time. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
enjoy your visits.
I will send you a copy of the PDF. And that will be fine.
Okay, thank you. Yes. And I always appreciate that you have to get up really early to join us.
I was up at 6:15. I'm usually up, but I'm reading in bed.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's my read when I get in bed at night.
Yeah.
And when the book goes clunk, I go, turn the light off. Oh, and I do
Yeah.
have to say, outdoor lights and things like that. When Bill would travel to Santo Domingo, he could always control everything down there with his phone, his Android, his Samsung. And he loved that part. And Christmas time, he could change the lights in front from red and green to all green, all red, or something like that.
Yeah.
To look like he was really there. So that was also a lot of fun. He lives in a cul-de-sac, easy to break into. His house is back, so it always looks like he was there. In my living room, I have one of those things that you have the little ratchety things, and the lights come on at 6 o'clock and they stay on until 11 o'clock when it ticks it off. No home automation, but no Wi-Fi, but they consider that a forerunner to
Oh.
home automation as well as the clapper.
Yeah.
My
Clap on, clap off.
My grandsons gave me one time, laughing hysterically, and you have to clap correctly to get it to work. If you have your hands like this, it sends a different sounding clap than flat hands. And I'd stand in the archway where now I say, hoo-hoo, turn off the lights, and it wouldn't work. And then I'd they thought that was so funny that Grammy was clapping to turn off her family room lights before she went to bed.
One thing you can do is that, and I seldom could do it, is like, let's say you've been gone and it's evening and you come home, you can have the lights on for you by going on your phone. I don't have timers.
Oh, okay.
I'll turn it on. I could unlock the door before I got there. And the furnace, I can turn my heat up and down on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be able to do it on Alexa, but something changed and I can't. So I just have to open the app on my phone and I can turn the heat up and down. So I could have the house warming up for me before I get home. So it's all fun.
Yeah, you set up routines. You walk in your front door, your living room lights turn on, the music starts to play, your playlist, and as you're walking along, you know, it just, the next lights come on and so on, and you just set it up that when you say, you know, you open the door and you say whatever the name of the routine is, it just all unfolds in front of you.
Step by step, right, right.
Question. What happens if your Wi-Fi goes out?
You can't do any of this.
What happens if your Wi-Fi goes out? Will you not be able to use anything?
I think it's usually an extra, well, on the things I'm thinking of. Like if I can't do the door, there's another way to open the door.
Yeah, you always need to get a lock with a key.
Have that as an option. Think of that at any time.
I have the key on my keychain. I can get in through the garage door with
I mean,
my,
you can still go over to the light lamp and turn it. Though I haven't done that in a long time.
yeah. But a couple of years ago, my lights were turned off 5 times over a period of time. It was a good fire season year, and our Edison company didn't want to be charged with millions of dollars because they had a line go down and start the fire, so they would turn the electricity off in the higher fire zone area, which I am now classed as being in, down to the bottom of the hill where the stupid Spectrum node is. And so I found out that everything that was connected all came back beautifully. No problem. I didn't have to reset up anything. It
That's
just
good.
came back on like it was usual. Then I only lost everything in my refrigerator once, and it really wasn't off that time for a length of time, which I thought was amazing. Refrigerator, freezer, down. But it's fun to all go out and buy new food. Anyway,
Okay,
I will now have breakfast.
okay.
Okay, have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you for coming.
You guys too. See some of you hopefully on Wednesday.
Okay, bye-bye.
Dennis, it's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Oh, Dennis. Yeah, hi, Dennis.
Oh.
Glad you
alright.
could join us.
Yeah, I finally remembered. I set an alarm.
I know, isn't that the thing? I have alarms on my phone. And then I have to remember what day of the week is it? What day
Yeah,
is it?
no, I'm fully retired.
Oh, are you now?
Yeah, and the mornings is always got to get my great grandson to school before 8:30. And then come home and I got the dog to feed, the cats to feed the birds, maybe go out and check the chickens. The chickens mess with my camera the most. I play with the settings constantly.